Memory loss that affects daily life is one of the signs of dementia. We all misplace our keys or forget a name from time to time, but when memory loss starts to interfere with daily life, it could be an early sign of dementia. Here we talk about what memory loss in dementia looks like, the difference between memory loss in dementia and normal aging, and we end with 2 real-life cases to help you fully understand this most common early sign of dementia. Make sure you watch to the end to get all the helpful information. Let's get started. Memory loss, particularly forgetting recently acquired information, is one of the most common warning signs of Alzheimer's disease. Contrary to a common misconception, these memory loss are not a normal aspect of aging. While people with Alzheimer's may exhibit a remarkable ability to recall events from the distant past, it is obvious that they struggle to remember recent events, such as what they had for breakfast or the subject of a conversation just a few minutes ago. It is not uncommon to observe loved ones forgetting important dates, repeatedly searching for information, or increasingly relying on memory aids such as reminder notes and electronic devices. In the early stages of Alzheimer's disease, people may find themselves relying on others for tasks that they once handled effortlessly. A typical age-related change could be the occasional forgetting of a name or appointment, which is later recalled. A common question is why individuals in the early stages of Alzheimer's tend to repeat their stories. This behavior can be attributed to the fact that they may not recall telling the same story recently. In addition, some engage in repetitive storytelling as a social gesture to maintain appropriateness and respectability despite their memory challenges. Others may tell the same story over and over again, as if it's a subconscious attempt to mask their memory problems. They may feel that by repeating familiar details, they can avoid further questions and create a sense of security. Here are 2 real-life cases of what these early signs can look like. While these stories have been adjusted for privacy, the experiences they describe are real and shared by many people in the early stages of dementia and the carers who support them. These subtle changes often occur in the midst of everyday life and are easily overlooked. But recognizing them early can make all the difference, providing a vital opportunity for earlier diagnosis and intervention. We hope you find this information useful. Case 1. Forgetting recent events while remembering the distant past. David's story, through the eyes of his daughter Sarah.
When I was growing up, my dad, David, was the sharpest person I knew. He was an engineer, always fascinated by how things worked, and had an incredible memory. At family gatherings, he could vividly describe the layout of his grandfather's house, the name of his elementary school teacher, and even the smell of his mother's homemade bread. My siblings and I were always in awe of how clearly he remembered events from 50 years ago. But recently something has changed. My mom was the first to notice the little lapses. Every morning, my dad asks what's for breakfast, then asks again 15 minutes later, not realizing he's just eaten. At first we put it down to normal forgetfulness, but then I started to see it too. One afternoon we were sitting in the living room and he started telling me a story about a fishing trip with his father. His face lit up with excitement as he described the crisp morning air and the way the water shimmered in the sunrise. I smiled, remembering that he had told me this story earlier in the day. So I said, "Yeah, Dad, you were just telling me about that." His face went blank for a moment. Then he asked, "Did we talk about this already?" There was no recognition, no glimmer of memory, just pure confusion. My heart sank. At dinner that night it happened again. He looked up from his plate and asked, "What day is it?" We answered, and a few minutes later he asked the same thing again. And then again. Each time he reacted as if he were hearing it for the first time. It's heartbreaking to watch. His long-term memories are still crystal clear. He can tell you every detail of his childhood, but his short-term memory is slipping away. It's like parts of his mind are being slowly erased, and we're just standing there, trying to hold on to the dad we've always known.
The second case, forgetting important appointments and repeating questions. Emma's story, through the eyes of his husband Tom.
Emma and I have been married for over 40 years. In all that time, she's been the most organized person I've ever known. Back when she was teaching, she had everything planned down to the last detail. At home, she kept our lives running smoothly, never forgot a birthday, never missed an appointment. If you needed to find something, Emma knew exactly where it was. So at first, I didn't think much of it when she started forgetting little things. It happens, right? We'd joke about getting older when she asked me to remind her about something, or walked into a room and forgot why. But then, those little things started happening more often. Like last week, she had plans to meet her best friend, Linda, for coffee. That morning, she asked me twice what time they were meeting. No big deal. But then she called Linda twice to confirm. And later that day, Linda called me, worried because Emma never showed up. When I asked Emma about it, she looked confused and said, "Oh, I must have mixed up the day." But I could tell. She didn't remember making the plans at all. It's not just appointments. The other night, while I was setting the table, she came into the kitchen and asked, "What time is my doctor's appointment tomorrow?" I told her, 10 a.m. 5 minutes later, she asked again, and then again. Each time, it was like she was hearing the answer for the first time. She started writing things down to help herself remember. I thought that would do the trick. But then, she started forgetting where she put her notes. The other day, she was searching the whole house for her grocery list, only to find it later in the fridge. She laughed it off, but I could see the frustration in her face. "I don't know why I did that," she said, shaking her head. At first, I brushed it off. But now, it's happening more and more, and I can't ignore it anymore. This isn't the Emma I've known for all these years. The woman who used to keep everything in order is now struggling to hold onto everyday moments. And honestly, that's what scares me the most.
Well, that brings us to the end of our discussion on memory loss that affects daily life, one of the most important early signs of dementia. We hope this information helps you and your loved ones take proactive steps towards better brain health and overall well-being. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming content on dementia prevention, brain health, and cognitive wellness. Have a personal story or questions? Drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stay informed, stay healthy.